Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. If making money with your content seems like an uphill battle, I have really good news for you. The 2023 Content Entrepreneur Research is out. Coaching, books, and online courses are the top 3 most profitable and most utilized tactics to monetize content. Turning your content into a printed book with Lulu has never been easier. Create a free account at lulu.com today. So this is not another podcast on exit strategies, although it may have something to do with it. Since I announced the acquisition of the Tilt and Creator Economy Expo by Lulu last week, the notes and calls have come pouring in, so many wonderful and supportive people, and lots of folks that just want to pick my brain. Now, the pick my brain calls are generally the worst to take. It's like unpaid counseling. But for some reason, I didn't mind this last week, so I took a lot of 15 and 30-minute calls to catch up and hear out some entrepreneurial problems. Many of the questions were about how I constructed the exit. By the way, I'm not exiting what I'm doing, but I guess I'm definitely exiting owning the business. Now, I shouldn't be surprised by these kinds of questions, but I always am and have been for 10 years. When I started working with entrepreneurs a decade ago with the first edition of Content Inc., I couldn't believe how many entrepreneurs lacked any kind of exit strategy. It's true. One example, I was teaching a class at Cuyahoga Community College on marketing for startups, and I asked the class, about 50 owners and entrepreneurs, if they had their exit planned out. One hand in 50 went up, and that one hand planned on giving the business to their kids, but nothing was really planned out from there. I'm not sure even the kids knew about it, so it really wasn't an exit plan. So back to my story. I had lots of chats with entrepreneurs that wanted some insight into my exit strategy now that I've done this 3 times. So here you go. First is the realization that your business isn't permanent. My mother and father were entrepreneurs. They started Polizzi's Restaurant in Sandusky, Ohio, near Cedar Point Amusement Park, and they had a good 7-year run and went on to do better things. My uncle owned a funeral home inherited from his father, my grandfather. He was great at what he did, but he was never quite happy. He always seemed to want to do something else. He passed away a few years ago, but I believe he was finally setting himself up to exit the business. But I'll never forget how he lit up when he talked about not having the business. Now, one of my friends is a very popular YouTuber, and about 7 years in, the fatigue finally hit him. You could sense that he just wasn't happy anymore. He started thinking exit, and last year did exactly that, and now is slowly moving in a new direction with his life. The point is, a business isn't forever. It's a legal project. And 99% of these don't last very long. So when I go into a business venture, I always have an idea of it ending. That could be many things, but for me, it's selling the thing, and that becomes the exit. Now, second, if you have this realization that anything you start can end, you start thinking about what you want out of it. Most of you listening to this podcast know about this already, but when my wife and I started what became Content Marketing Institute in 2007, 2008, I wrote down on a piece of paper that I wanted to sell it in 7 years for $15 million. Now that actually happened a year later than I was hoping, but not too bad. So you know you'll sell, and you know what you want, and then you just have to figure out who to sell it to. If you start this process early in your business, you can start to make a list of the most likely buyers. Best case scenario, these people already have a good idea of what your business is. They are clients of yours, or sponsors, or partners in some way. When we sold Social Tract, our blogging service, in 2010, we sold to a partner agency. For CMI, we sold to an event company that had dozens of their employees and executives attend our event, Content Marketing World, over the years. For the Tilt, we sold to our biggest sponsor and supporter. The process is so easy that it's hard to call it a process. When you get to the point where you can hit your financial goal, or you'd like to be doing something else with your time, you have your list of possible companies to purchase you right in front of you. And by the way, you could be making money, not making money, losing money. It doesn't really matter. You have built an asset, and somebody most likely wants that asset. Now, my advice for you is just to acknowledge that your business shouldn't and won't last forever. When you acknowledge that, it forces you to plan some kind of exit. And since you're planning some kind of exit, why not do it with a company that you don't have to educate about your business? They already know and love you. It's then your job to talk to them about it and see what the next steps would be. And that's it. I hope my crazy exit adventures help you in some way. And the good news, for me at least, is that 3 times is a charm. Joe has decided not to start another business again. And that makes Joe's wife extremely happy. My best to you, and good luck.